everybody? Welcome back to Friday here on Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal. Ruhl. Happy to have you with us. You know this guy to the right of me, Big Joique, former Detroit Lion great. Darren McCarty, 4-time Stanley Cup champion. We've got that Big D Energy here on a Friday. Happy you all are with us, ready to roll. And look, guys, like we had it lined up where, you know, we were going to talk Tom Brady. We were going to talk the GOAT. We were going to talk a great football game, but Art, who's in the producer's booth, Fish is in the bowl as well. Art, when news breaks in the sports world, we break in. We have some Dom Muhlbach breaking news. He is back, baby.
Yeah.
He is back. The Detroit Lions have hired Don Muhlbach as a special assistant, so he will assist Rod Wood, head coach Dan Campbell, with various projects across the team's football and business operations. So Don Muhlbach is back. And Joique, I know Joique was fired up about this, man, because we just learned about this a few minutes right before we went on air.
Just literally 2 minutes before we came on. And it's great to have Don back, man. Don is great in the locker room, and he can be that bridge between the players and the front office. So,
that's a real thing, isn't it? The bridge between the players and the management. It's like any other workplace.
Yeah, it is. But you know, he's going into the other side now. So, you know, he's a little compromised now. Yeah, he's compromised, but at the same time, he can be that person that can go to the players and then kind of let the players know what the front office is thinking, and then come back and, you know, let the front office know what the players are thinking, and then kind of, you know, be that middle ground, you know. But from the front office to the players, now I don't think there's any issues as far as the culture, communication. I think everything there is heading in the right direction already. I think this is just a great piece added, just like Kevin Bestein coming back. So they're making all the right moves, man. I like it. Well, then what it also shows, because for a moment in time, a lot of the former players thought, you know, the Lions organization didn't care about them.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of guys said, you know, they didn't want to come back because they didn't feel like
they were cold-blooded.
Yeah, they didn't feel like they were wanted. But as of lately, a lot of guys have been coming back. A lot of guys feel, you know what, they didn't forget about us. You know, and so now it's kind of great to see.
It adds to the narrative of what Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have put together of former players that are respected. And what I love is a guy that's gone from being there for so long, and now, yeah, he'll, I guess, jump to the other side, but you have that respect, and you bridge that gap. You know, we always said in our locker room, you know, Dave Lewis, who was in charge of defense, he was sort of the players guy where you could go to him and air a grievance or have a conversation. He'd give you the knowledge of, well, do you want to die on this hill? Probably not. Then you'd think, or that's a good point. You know what? Maybe do tactfully this way. Communication's the key. I don't care what it is, and this just adds to the culture that they're trying to build. So this is great, and this gives me some reassurance that maybe there was this conversation with Don Muhlbach on his birthday when they said, hey, we're going to have to cut you, you know what, but we want you being a part of this. And this just makes me feel good and moving forward, and especially after you mentioned football starting last night, I think that we can all agree that, boom, expectations were blown. And this is just a good sign for this our Detroit Lions team in the 2-year process that we've been talking about to build the culture. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And now it makes sense because you have a new long snapper that Muhlbach will be there to help him along the way, and it makes you feel good going into the first game.
Absolutely. And you guys can get involved with the show on our YouTube chat thread, which you guys do. Messages coming in fast and furious as they always are. But, Joique, I'm actually surprised it took the 30 seconds that it took when we started talking about this topic, and Harrison Metzler chimes in and says, okay, now fix the relationship with Calvin. You knew that's where that was going to go to, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Your thoughts?
My thoughts is fix it. Fix it. You got to fix it. You know, you can't have your Hall of Famer with a bad taste in his mouth. It just can't. And with this new regime, with all the positive things that's going on, this is one round that needs to be it needs to be right.
And guys,
make it right.
Joique, it's always going to come back to that. When you have releases like this, that's what the fans are going to think. It's always going to come back to that. It just is.
It is. It's what it's going to go back to. But all around, I mean, they have all these good things going on, but they always going to have this thing that's going to linger.
The elephant in the room.
It's going to be the elephant in the room when you have arguably one of the best players. You know, him and Barry are the two best players that ever played for the Detroit Lions. Just get that out there.
Don't believe me. Believe the gold jacket they put on.
Yeah. The best two players that ever put on a Lions jersey. So I would say that Calvin is arguably the greatest player that played for the Lions organization. He's definitely the greatest receiver. Right behind him, I would put Herman Moore right there.
Right.
But you can't have him with a bad taste in his mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. And
he wants to be around, but you got to make it right.
Yeah,
you have to make it right.
No, you do. And I don't want to drive it down because we do have a lot of Big D energy here today. We got a big show lined up for you.
We got to talk about it.
No, but you do. I mean, you do because every time it comes up. You can't
shy away from it.
No, I know, because every time it comes up, that's going to come up. Yeah. Anytime anything like that comes up. But Don Muhlbach added as a special assistant. We certainly will touch on that. But as we said, we got a big-time show. We got lots of guests here today. Speaking of the Detroit Lions, football is back. As we saw last night, great game between Tampa and the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott's back, by the way. But we'll be joined by Sergeant Major Adam Lemay. He will be the Detroit Lions hometown hero honoree on Sunday at Ford Field. So if you're going to the game on Sunday, which some of you are, as we will get to a little bit later in the show, sitting front row, Adam Lemay will be honored with his son, Josh Lemay. The first ever father-son tandem would be honored for the hometown hero for the Detroit Lions. So we're excited to talk to Adam Lemay about that. What a big-time honor that is. And for him to get that ovation will be pretty sweet. There's no doubt about it. Sean Mann, the CEO of Detroit City FC. You know, it's a football Friday, but it's a football Friday as well. D-Mac, you know what? And I got to give you a lot of credit, man, because you've been the driver of this out there. The DCFC Friday, you know, they're in town tomorrow, playing at 4 o'clock at Hamtramck at Keyworth Stadium. Come on out to that match if you want one of the best environments in sports. But you've been on this. You've been pushing this.
Well, Big D Energy and especially Woodward Sports Network, we are about the D and what's going on. And I cannot say this because the truth is the truth, but the best fan base and the most successful franchise in Detroit sports is Detroit City Football Club, so we got to give them the props. And the one thing is as we build forward, we know moving into football season, basketball, hockey, you know, with baseball coming in, we have a future of cheering in this city, of being down there. So let's do it right. And who else would you want to learn it from than the people who are doing it right? The Northern Guard, the DCFC. So there is much a part of this city and this culture and this fiber for all of us. And I'm excited because it's what Detroit's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be joined by Collar McMichael, too, defensive back for the North Carolina Tar Heels. His dad actually is a Detroit native. That's Joique's connection right there. But I can't wait to talk to him because I want to ask him what, and certainly it didn't work out for him, Joique, but that video that went viral of Virginia Tech coming out to the Inner Sandman and that crowd, I want to ask him what that's like to be in the other color. You know, to know that 70,000 people are losing their mind and they hate you. Like, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it right now because I would love that role. I love the heel role, man. Like, I would love that. So we'll talk to him about that. A bunch of stuff to get to, too. I'll get you right to my late night Saturday night college football pick in case the day's wagering doesn't go too well for you. That's all right. I got your back. I'll hook you up late night Saturday night as well. We're giving away some tickets, as we said, to Sunday's game against the San Francisco 49ers in the front row. Ben Wallace, Chris Webber will be headed to the Basketball Hall of Fame tomorrow. I'm kind of getting that Baseball Hall of Fame vibe from that. Like, it's just you're going right up against football. Like, it's just not getting the props it should.
Again, we're having a gold jacket, or there's a retirement going on, just like Jeter's the other day was sort of like baseball, where you been, and sort of this is football season. I don't think it's timing is not probably impeccable on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. What the games that are hot and not the NFL's cheapest and most expensive tickets. We got a ton to get to here today, but we're gonna get to it all, man. We are, because that's how we roll. It's Big D Energy. We'll power through, Joique. I powered through at the gym this morning, man. I was thinking about you. I didn't want any part of it this morning. You ever get that?
Yeah, you get that all the time.
Yeah,
I had that feeling this morning. I looked at that clock this morning and said, the alarm went off, and I'm just looking at it. You ever like sit there and just look at your alarm?
I'm trying to spell the word.
Yeah. No, but it was exactly that. I mean, I take my son to school. You know, my oldest is in high school. It's his first year of high school, so obviously the school starts earlier. Yeah. So I'm on the hook to take him to school, so I don't have a choice but to get up. But I do have a choice about going in that gym.
Yeah.
But that's why, you know, I since I started working here, I joined a gym out by here. So I don't have a choice, man. Like, I got to go.
You got to go.
I got to go. So I went and I got it in.
How you feel now?
What? Upper body, lower body today?
Today was cardio. Cardio Friday.
Cardio Friday.
Cardio Friday. 4-mile run. 4-mile run and some stretching.
Okay. 11:11 right now. Good energy.
About 2.5 miles in, though, I was over it.
It was over.
But it was a mental battle, Joique. I said, Joique would just say, I want to see that gorilla.
I want to see that gorilla.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to see it.
I thought about that.
So on the treadmill, right?
Yeah.
All right. So on the treadmill, when you got to that place, did you just, you know, turn the speed down a little bit, slow up, or you just kept at the same speed?
No, I kept it at the same speed. What I did was I mentally project myself somewhere else. You know, that's what I forget, that I'm there at the gym. I forget that I'm on the treadmill. I forget how much time I have left. It's like in the movie Blow, Johnny Depp's character, when he's talking about how he smuggles the drugs into the country, and he's like, I just mentally project myself somewhere else, a moment of triumph, a happy place. That's what I do, except I don't have, 22 kilos of cocaine in a suitcase at an airport.
I love it. You know what? I'm going to have to check, and I don't think there's a line on your 4-mile Friday cardio yet on mybookie.ag, but our studio sponsor, mybookie.ag. Yes, the winning season returns with MyBookie. You, too, can get involved. How? Any deposit is 100% match bonus. You deposit $50, get $50, have $100 to play. Why do I say that? Because it's important using the code Woodward to get that free money. We got 18-week seasons that kicked off last night. Obviously, going into Sunday, I told you earlier, the spread now is the San Francisco 49ers minus 8.5, so it has moved a full point. You can still get it at mybookie.ag. Get it with all your wonderful bonus betting money. Now, they have over 500,000 context prizes live on site to make this winning season your best ever. Don't forget the college. College is tomorrow. Neal's Get Right Pick of the Night is always on here. We'll get to that later, but you too at mybookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Gambling problem? Call the National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-522-4700. He's Joique Bell, Neal, Ruhl, Darren, McCarty. We are Big D Energy on this Friday. Woodward Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Welcome back to Big D Energy here on a Friday, Woodward Sports Network. If you're listening on 93.5, The Roar, Detroit's new all-sports station. Appreciate you checking us out on there as well. Get involved, our YouTube chat thread, social media, on Twitter as well. But, we've been talking a lot of football this week, and the Detroit Lions put the toe to leather, as Michigan fans would say. On Sunday at 1 o'clock, the San Francisco 49ers are coming to town, and I know a lot of you are going. We'll be giving away tickets a little bit later on on here today. A lot of you are going, and you see this segment that the Detroit Lions do during the game presentation. They do such a great job with it, man. They do, and it brings a lot of energy in the building. The Detroit Lions Hometown Heroes, where they honor some of the service people from around our area, and right now we're lucky enough to be joined by one of them that will be honored tomorrow. Sergeant Major Adam Lemay is our guest here on Big D Energy. He'll actually be the Lions Hometown Hero tomorrow, sharing that honor with his son, Josh Lemay, which we will get into in just a couple of minutes. But Adam, certainly do appreciate your time. I'll be the first to say it. Thank you for your service. How are you today?
You're very welcome, and I'm doing just fine, just sitting here relaxing.
I like it. I appreciate it. So, Adam, we were talking about that, with the Hometown Hero, and just to give everybody some background on your service, you entered the service in December of 1981. You're a graduate of Montrose High School, and for you, this became a way of life, right? I mean, what you did, you served various units and did different tours over the next 30 years. You made this your life's work.
Yeah, ever since I was a little kid. I mean, I played with G.I. Joes, Army men. I always wanted to be in the Army. I joined the Army. I was in active duty. I did 3 years there. Then I did guards and reserves, switching back and forth between those two for the next, 34 years total. And, it was just, I just always enjoyed serving my country. I enjoyed doing different things. I enjoyed meeting people, and it was just a good run.
I think we're talking to Sergeant Major Adam Lemay, who him and his son Josh are going to be honored as the hometown heroes for the Lions game. First time ever, father and son to be honored. Can you speak a little bit about what that means, not only to your family, but I think from a service person, I guess, point of view, what does the Detroit Lions or professional sports, especially maybe what they've done to help fill the time? Can you give us a little insight into maybe what it's meant to your family and what this honor means for you guys?
Well, it's nice to, I don't do this for me because, people call me a hero, people call me this, I'm just a patriot. I'm just a guy. I did my job. I mean, I was more excited for my son to be a part of this because I think of all the young people who joined the military after 9/11, and they knew what they were getting into. When I joined, there was nothing going on. I mean, we helped keep the Russians at bay. That's great. But I mean, these young kids, they joined knowing that, they were going into harm's way. They had the potential. So for the Detroit Lions to reach out and to, honor people, and I mean, just not for war on terror, but I mean, Vietnam, World War II, everybody that, it's just a great program that they do, and I'm thankful that they do it. I think it's great.
It's a beautiful thing. I always find it quite interesting because even as coming up, I always thought about joining the military. What sparked that for you as a kid?
I have no idea. I just always wanted to be a soldier. I mean, as far back as I can remember, that's all if I could have been an NFL player playing football or been a private in the Army, I would have chosen private in the Army. It's just what I've always aspired to do is be a soldier. I did it, and I loved it.
Talking with Sergeant Major Adam Lemay. He'll be honored tomorrow with his son Josh, on Sunday at Ford Field as the Lions take on the 49ers. As we talked about, Adam had 30 years of deployments to Desert Storm, Kosovo, Iraq, served 2 tours in Afghanistan. Your final deployment as a first sergeant in the Delta Company, 1st of the 125th Infantry Battalion out of Big Rapids, Michigan. Adam, what about that? When you went on that final deployment as a guy that made this your life's work and has always been the passion of your life, I would imagine that it's very similar, to that athletic world of when Joique took the field for his last time, or D-Mac, stepped on the ice for the last time. Just that, and I'm not talking about, I'm not comparing the two lines of work, just more about, I would imagine for the Army, camaraderie has a lot to do with it. And I would imagine that that's probably the hardest part about stepping away, is for that brother or that sister that's next to you.
Yeah, I mean, when I left my first tour of Afghanistan, I knew I was going to be back. In 7 months later, I was back again. And I did that for the young soldiers. I mean, they probably thought I was a pain in their hind ends, but I kept going back because I wanted to make sure that I mean, we call him Joe. Joe's going to be Joe, or the soldier's going to be the soldier. They're going to do everything in their power to get themselves killed, because they're young and they're indestructible. And I appreciate that. I was the same way, but I kept going back to help keep my young people alive, make sure that, everything from wearing their safety goggles to wearing their gloves, sleeves down, don't drink, Red Bulls and stuff out on perimeter because, I don't want you all hyped up and dehydrated. I want you to drink water. So I was kind of like a mother hen. But these people, I still talk to a lot of them. They'll post pictures on Facebook in Afghanistan, and their sleeves will be up. They'll be wearing baseball caps, and I'll say, obviously, I wasn't around that day. So, and a lot of my friends throughout the tours that this Facebook thing and stuff. It's pretty good because now you can keep in contact, with a lot of people. So I still keep in contact with them. I'm still, they're still my brothers. They're still my kids. When I see them, you get the 22 a day. Some of them, make that choice, and so that hurts. But I love the camaraderie. I loved them all.
Yeah, and Adam, in your case, literally, it's your kids as well. I mean, between you and your son, 41 years of service, 2 Bronze Stars, airborne wings, combat action badges. I mean, I know you guys don't do it for the awards or anything like that. A drill sergeant badge with the Air Force Outstanding Award, Outstanding Unit Award with Valor. I mean, I know you guys don't do it for the resume stuff, but I mean, you guys literally have made a lifetime of serving your country as a father and son tandem. I would say your family did America pretty proud, Adam. What you got, Darren?
I got a question, sir, just on this, because tomorrow is the 20-year anniversary of obviously 9/11, and I'd like to know from a military person that has dedicated his life, is there any words can you have some encouraging words or something that in the past 20 years, like you've mentioned the sacrifices these young men and women like of your son's age, and we all know people that have gone into the service since then, but is there something word from a wily military veteran about 20 years later, maybe for us to know, like, because what I hear from you saying through all the different things that you've been through, it's still the togetherness, the brotherhood, the family, the being outside of yourself. So does this 20 years mean something different or reflect back that you can give to us?
It's just, no, not really. It's, for me, it was just a way of life and what I did. And, there was, the one positive thing about 9/11 is it did bring us together as a country, and that was great. But somewhere along the way, we've lost our way. And, that's about all I'm going to comment on it.
Adam, I think that's all that needs to be said, my friend. Again, we appreciate your service, your family's service, and it'll be great to see you honored at Ford Field on Sunday. Detroit Lions against the San Francisco 49ers. A big thank you to Ronnie Cyrus for collabing on all this. And Adam, we appreciate your time, and we'll see you out there on Sunday.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, hey, you're welcome. But hey, I need to make a shameless plug here for the Michigan Heroes Museum.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Darren, we wanted to thank you for coming out to the Worst Open, and we think next year, May 26th, Worst Open, we need you to bring your 2 friends there with you, and you guys all 3 need to come out and come golfing with us.
Yeah, well, you know what? When you say I am my brother's keeper, I will be there. I'll try to drag the rest of them there too. What a great time, and look forward to it. Thanks for all you guys do.
Yeah, and we want to see you to come to the museum for a visit as well.
Absolutely.
You got it, Adam. Appreciate your time. Again, that was Major Adam Lemay. Him and his son, Josh Lemay, will be the Detroit Lions hometown heroes on Sunday at Ford Field. Really cool. And Joique, I know you spoke to it before. It's an energy thing in the building, man. When they step out there on the field, you guys, even as players, even in the heat of the battle, you guys stop and take notice.
Always take notice. And I take notice that today is a little cool in here.
It is.
Northwestern Tech. Start a new career in the industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. To learn more today, go to northwesterntech.edu. I'm Joique Bell, Neal, Ruhl, Darren McCarty. Stay tuned with Woodward Sports.
Welcome to the Call Sam Chopper Shop, where you can win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time.
Watch as the Bad Pig Custom team turns this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
And when it's finished, we'll be donating the bike to Volunteers of America Michigan to raffle off in support of our vets.
A great cause to give back to those who've given so much.
Watch for Call Sam Chopper Shop episodes on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
Off and rolling here on a Friday. Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, D-Mac, Darren McCarty here with you. Happy to have you along for the ride. And always a great segment. We get to talk to the hometown heroes. The comments and the YouTube and everything like that. I mean, you guys, Darren, I mean, you know, this is something that's important to you to do. It's important for me to do. Joique, I know you as well. But it really hits home when you see everybody's comment and they take time out of what they're doing to say, hey, we appreciate hearing those people's stories.
No, and it's why we really do it. True. As you know, we're Joique and I can sit up here as the athletes and you as the broadcaster and say, for us to have our freedom of liberties to entertain, it's because of these people. It's the same thing as before the game when they're honored guys, the football guys on the field, they get a rush from. It's the same thing during the hockey game. You know, usually during the first or second period when they honor a military person, everybody stands, and that gives you a honor and a thrill of for an athlete, as why it's sort of a reality check of, man, you're doing something that you love. And these guys, as we mentioned before, they're not worried about where they're getting their cup of coffee in the morning. They're worried about if they're going to stay alive. So they put things in perspective.
My biggest thing, what kind of coffee?
And if I'm going to go out and get punched in the face a couple times, big freaking deal. I might bleed all over somebody else, but there's a doctor there to fix me up. And you know, that it's a reality check. And I think we, as you know, human beings, we need it sometime.
You know, it's kind of dope to see how he went back because he cared about the people that was in his right. So it's kind of it confirms my notion of how important it is to have that veteran, that older guy there to kind of teach you the trick of the trade, because you don't know what you don't know. Yep. Roll your sleeves up, don't drink the Red Bull, stay hydrated, do this, do that, and then when he's not there, you know, the people who want to stay alive, they're going to do
what he said to do.
What you said to do, and the people that's going to be, oh, I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yeah, that just blows me away. Like, their profession is not dying today.
Yeah.
Like, think about that, people. Like, that's what their Tuesday is. So,
and he just said it so nonchalant.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I ride with those guys, man.
Going to be a soldier. You know, they're going to get himself killed. You know, so, you know, I just went back because, you know, I wanted my boys, those are my kids. I want to make sure, you know, but that's important to have. So even with the team, that's important to have a veteran that kind of teach you and kind of guides you, and kind of that's what Jeff Okudah needs. Yeah, that's what Darius Slade needed. He needed that. Yeah, and so there's going to be the guys who take that information and apply it. That's going to be successful, be alive. So it's. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, so they'll be honored, as we said, the Lions-49ers game, but they are going to play. And look, through all this, like what we talked about with this Detroit Lions team, and 30,000-foot view and future draft picks and depth charts and all that stuff, I've said this, D-Mac, you know this, I've said this from day one when we started talking about training camp. At some point, Nick Bosa's coming to town to get your quarterback. At some point, the 49ers are bringing that rush attack that arguably is one of the best in the National Football League. They're coming for you because it's go time now. This is one of 17 games. The 10-7 limos firing up for the guys, for fish and everything like that. But the bottom line is this. When they kick the ball, the 49ers are on the other side on Sunday. That starts. There's no more talk about depth charts. There's no more talk about practice units. There's no more talk about training camps or anything like that. All you have is what's there. And I appreciate the fact that we're getting this going for real. And I think you can tell, even from the Lions organization, you can tell that they know it's for real. Aaron Glenn certainly knows it's for real because he knows about that rushing attack too.
A couple of days ago, Dan talked about the need for the rush defense to improve. And now the San Francisco 49ers, in the preseason, they've averaged a little bit over 188 yards a game. How much stock do you take into those numbers, and what has been your message to your guys?
So you're asking the rush against San Francisco?
Yeah, they're rushed. against, they've been rushing about a little over 180 yards a game.
Well,
like, what
their rushing attack.
Yeah.
Tough. I mean, that's everything they're built around is the run game. And listen, they're going to make some yards, right? They're going to make some yards. We're going to do our damnedest now to do what we can because we're built on that. We're built on our front of making sure that we build a wall, we set edges, right? We make tackles. So I'm not going to sit here and say, listen, we're afraid of their run game. I'm not going to say that, but I do recognize who they are in the run game. So we're just going to go out there and do our job and what our philosophy is for stopping the run. So our guys are excited about it. They know it's a challenge. When you play against a team like this, with the running game that you just talked about, I mean, you got to be excited to play against a team. Because when you want to measure yourself against the best, right? They're one of the best teams. Right? Hell, I want to measure myself against one of the best play callers, right? To see exactly where I'm at. So that's why, collectively as a group, man, we're looking forward to this challenge. You see I'm getting fired up right now.
He is. I mess with Aaron Glenn, man. I like him a lot.
Yeah,
I like him a lot.
Because of the player he was, too. If you look back at and he was a guy that if he said it, he did it. I mean, he's an in-your-face sort of guy and stuff like that. Now, I'll turn it to the other side of the ball because breaking news, and we've heard this out throughout the day, but I'm going to say because our astute Mr. Tom Mazaway just texted me and said Eric Taylor Decker is out, left tackle. It's reported that he might have broken his pinky in pass protection and might need surgery. So what side's Nick Bosa coming off of? We got other things to worry about now, a little bit more. I know that Aaron Glenn was talking about the offensive rushing game of the 49ers, but now without your proverbial left tackle, it brings a lot of things into question. So keeping Jared Goff vertical is going to be even tougher.
Yeah, and Justin Rogers from the Detroit News tweeted that about 20 minutes ago. It said Campbell said Decker hurt his finger throwing a punch on a pass protection. We'll meet a doctor today, but seems like it's trending towards surgery. And that was the talk that I heard yesterday into this morning, Joique, where people were like, well, it's an offensive lineman. Just tape the finger to another finger and roll on. But when you have a finger that requires surgery, you have to use your hands at some point as an offensive lineman. It's not like you're a D lineman where you can just put the club on and go to work like that. You need your hands.
You need your hands, and that's for sure. You can't put a club on it because the way that they have their advantage is by getting inside, gripping inside the shoulder pads, and being able to take control of a defender. If you only have one hand, you're at a disadvantage, period. And especially when you're going against guys that are more athletic, that are faster, you need every weapon you have, especially when you're at the left tackle and your left tackle is protecting your most valuable position. All right, and so they're in a pickle. They're in a pickle.
What about this? And explain this to me because I'm curious. That's why I like having you here, Joique, because you can give me the reality basis to this.
I don't know what you're going to ask me. What is it?
No, the Penei Sewell talk about him moving over. Should he move over? Shouldn't he move over? The left tackle versus right tackle spot. He's been doing the whole training camp. Like he was going to be working at the right tackle spot. Why don't you just slide him over? I mean, people, to me it seems like, and I go to you for this, to me it seems like people are being kind of dismissive of spending an entire training camp at right tackle and just say, oh, we'll plug him over at left tackle. That's where he played anyway. Last time he played football, man, he was like 20 years old or whatever he was.
Yeah, so who was our lowest scoring offensive lineman this year?
In terms of, like...
Yeah, at the end of preseason.
I mean, it was Sewell, yeah.
All right, it was Sewell, all right. And they had him, what was he used to playing?
He was built on being a left tackle.
All right.
But now he's trying to be a right tackle.
All right, so, we don't know how this is going to turn out. It might turn out where he feels more comfortable over there. And he might have a great game. He might have a game to where he needs some work, but it wasn't bad. Or he might fall flat on his face. We don't know.
Yeah. So it is. I don't know. So that is the answer. Because the fans were talking just put him over at left tackle and everything will be good again.
I don't know. Right.
Yeah.
But
you look at last year.
Back,
and
then what do you do when Decker comes back?
Huh?
And then what you say you do move him to left, and he's dominant.
And he's dominant. Hey, you got to go over here, Decker. You got to go over here.
But he's making all the money.
Huh?
Only the Lions, man. Like, this stuff happens too.
Hey, but you know what? What do you do? What do you do? You got to call audibles. You know.
Yeah,
so.
I know. It's just for me. You know, it's not just that. It is that. Like, I don't know can be the answer sometimes. You know, like that. I think that's part of the problem for society. And you're right, Joique. Like,
it's tough.
That's what I wanted to hear. Actually,
so and that's the thing, though. If they pay you, they're going to play you. That's period. If they pay you, they have to play you. And so it's going to be a tough situation. It's going to be a tough call that, you know, Brad Holmes or I don't think the coaches they're going to have to make. It's the tough. What do you do? What do you do?
What do you have?
You have a guy that you just paid, and you have a first-round draft pick.
If it's Coach Joique Bell, and obviously you're on the outside look again. I'm just give me your best educated guess.
I'm not there in training camp.
You're not there.
I'm not there,
respect
but
that.
just outside looking in because I'm not there. I will plug Sewell to left tackle, put the second string right tackle over there right.
Logan Stenberg.
Yep. I'll put him over there at the right tackle, and then we'll go forward from there. And I think that's the best option we have.
I'm sorry, Matt Nelson. That would be.
So then, what happens when Decker comes back? Then you move Sewell back, or
depends on how he's playing. All right. Now you bring him back. Okay. You know, where else will you put him? What else? You know, if Sewell is scoring higher and grading higher at that left tackle. Then Deck, you let the best man. This is not a, you know.
We're not concerned about your feelings here.
Yeah, this is a business, right? And you got to earn your position. Now, I understand this. We want to build this winning culture in this family environment. But at the end of the day, this is still a business. And if he's outplaying them, then you have to play him. Like, what are you going to do? Say, we're going to take you out. Even though you're playing the best you played, and you're scoring, you're grading higher. I don't see how you move him from that position. But, like, at the same time,
Taylor Decker, 4 years, $60 million.
Yeah, 4 years, $60 million. And he's proven, right? Just see how it turns out.
Yeah, speaking of being proven, you know what's proven about guys? We're a pretty simple bunch. We like Sunday football in the feel of a TV remote in the palm of our hand. We like things uncomplicated. That is me right there. Like Lady Jane's haircuts for men. Walk in, sit down. Before you know it, your hair game is on point. Lady Jane's open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
You know why realtors love using Hall Financial as a lender? Because of our commitment to speed and service. We have nearly 4,000 five-star reviews already. Call today, 248-308-5000, or go to callhallfirst.com.
Welcome back. Big D Energy here on the Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell. Joique Bell getting a lot of run on the YouTube chat thread for his Western Michigan shirt there. Got the big block W on there. D. McCarty, 4-time Stanley Cup champion. And look, we've been talking about the Lions 49ers games, and Woodward Sports will be down there, downtown, all day long. Want the pregame? Cool. We got you. You can join Woodward Sports live for the pregame. That'll be at Tin Roof. You know, the old Chelly's Chili spot downtown across the street from Comerica Park. 11 to 1 tomorrow. Ryan Armani, Braylon Edwards, the bottom line will be in the house, so you know that means Maz as well. Jade from WRIF will be in the building. The show will be hosted, too. It'll be simulcasted on 101.1 WRIF on the radio side tomorrow. So if you want to listen along, if you can't make it down there, feel free to check that out. Post-game, Stick will be there for that as well. The Brass Rail, my favorite spot downtown. They'll live stream right at the 2-minute warning of every Lions game to get the reaction, get the crowd interactions as well. There's a DJ, drinks, Woodward Sports VIP section. So go get in the mix, man. That's why we do all this on a Sunday. Go down the pregame, get right, you know, do the stuff you do when you go down to the pregame, go into the game, slide back out, go to the Brass Rail, share your thoughts with everybody. That's what it's all about. Woodward Sports will be there all season long as well. But, you know, we're talking Detroit Lions and we're talking San Francisco 49ers. And, you know, this offensive line situation that D-Mac just talked about certainly is a problem for this team. Taylor Decker sounds like he might need surgery on that finger. We've been talking about that and how that's going to work. But the 49ers, as I said, they don't care about that. And Nick Bosa's here. Well, they're not here yet. When will they get into town? Tomorrow? Tonight?
No, they're
Saturday?
tomorrow.
Saturday?
They get in tomorrow.
Even on the cross-country trip? They come in a day earlier?
Yeah, so they'll be here tomorrow. They might leave out. It's weird because we always gain 3 hours.
Right. And they're always losing.
Yeah, and they're always losing. So, if anything, they might not do the walkthrough in the morning, or come in at 8, do the walkthrough, have the meetings, do the walkthrough, and probably leave out around 11. I wouldn't say 11. I would think they would want to get here like relatively around 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock.
Land 2 o'clock here.
Yeah, land 2 o'clock here. So they might not even have a walkthrough there. They might land, come here, go to the hotel, and have the walkthrough at the hotel. So that's usually what we used to do. So they are losing 3 hours.
Yeah. What's the path, D-Mac, for this? I mean, we've been talking about it, and look, the guys here, they have the 10-7 limo. I'm a bit more. I'm a bit more realistic in my assessments as what's going on. Is there a path? I mean, I guess I'm just, because for me, how I judge success, not just in this game, but for the season for the Lions, how I judge success is by the Rams having a crappy record. For real, that's it for me. That's it.
So it has nothing to do with what happens with Detroit on the field, right?
No, I mean,
here's the one thing. We can speculate, we can say this, that, or whatever, but the 60 minutes is going to be played on Sunday.
The truth will be told.
We're going to sit here next week, and we're going to have a little bit, more of an idea. It won't be the full picture, but we'll have an idea of what they're going to try to do without Decker in there, how they're going to try to stop different things. I mean, I don't know. It's up in the air, but you're trying to look for some different signs. You mentioned what Aaron Glenn said, going up against one of the best play callers. And so there's little matchups, little battles, and it'll be interesting not only to watch, but to hear what these coaches say after that, what the speak is coming out of this first game. And, it's too early to tell. Now we just get to sit back and, decide if they're going to cover the 8.5 or not.
Yeah, and I'm overly simplistic. I'll be the first one to tell you guys that. I mean, when I was doing the read for Lady Jane's there, we said guys like things simple. That is me. That's me that we're talking about. I like stuff easy and simple. But again, for me, and I'm wearing it, I think, a little bit right now along the ice, says Neal, that's terrible. That's a terrible take. But look, here's how it works for me. This team's not going to the playoffs. Okay, I'm along the ice. I'm sorry, but they're not going for the playoffs. And the second you're not going to the playoffs, the objective for me is for your draft pick to be as high as, because that brings the most value to your organization. And coincidentally, they have the Rams pick for the next 2 years. I want the Rams to do poorly as well. I would say if you want me to narrow down to one thing on the field, it would be Penei Sewell, and how Penei Sewell plays. And that's it, because he's going to be the franchise, right, Joique? He's a plug and play. That's what I was told. I was told it's a plug and play. You put him in this position for the next decade, you don't have to worry about it. That's what I was told.
That's what you was told.
That's what I was told. That's what we were all told.
I'm going to tell you right now, they got Bosa, signed that big contract. He hungry.
That's my fear. Yeah.
Armstead, who else? Who do you want? What's the over-under for sacks? 5? I mean, it'll be.
They said Jared Goff better have his life insurance.
Yeah,
his life insurance policy on deck because they coming. So, and it's funny because we talk about their run game, but I don't think they're. They finished 15th overall last year rushing.
And then they were banged up.
Yeah, they were banged up, and then in this year and last year, we finished with bottom 3 in rushing defense. And so, but understand it's a new season, it's a new day, it's new coaches, and it's a new mindset. So I'm excited to see what this team does. I'm not expecting anything. If they win, they win.
I guess that's my question. If you're not expecting anything, how can you be excited? Because I keep hearing that word. Like everybody's I'm excited.
Because you cannot expect anything, but still be excited because you're going to be excited to see where we are as a team. You can be excited for that. You can be excited to see where we are and then how we progress throughout the season. That's what you can be excited for. And so, for me, that's what I'm excited for.
And you nailed it, right?
Both
Obviously,
can be true.
The generational and watching Sewell, but it's a CUDA. is there a resurrection program in Akuta? And if we see some of these, and we mention all the time, guys that beyond this first-year contract, obviously we got some younger guys, Neal, Azakure, or whatever his name is, and Barnes. Look at some of the young guys, but to me, it's Akuta and it's Sewell. At least this first week. I think that's the beauty of it, not having the expectation to see, okay, what do we have? Okay, where are we going? And either be, oh, well, this guy looked good. No, nice to see Amon Brown make 4 catches. And, that's the whole thing. Let's wait and see. That's why they play the game. And they got a tough test this week 1. But again, going back to last night's game, first game, Tampa versus Dallas, I was pleasantly surprised because I thought Dallas might get blown out. So there were different things that I noticed in the NFL in one game so far on the Thursday night. I'm sure there'll be a lot more this weekend that I'll notice too, and hopefully there'll be some positive things with our Lions.
And to fit it in with my narrative about what I believe the Lions will be this year, next year, into 2023, because you guys know I got to get the T-shirts made 2023. That's when it's on and popping.
Ruhl.
Yeah, that's when I'm calling for some wins and to get things rolling. But to back that point up, I guess it's not just Sewell for me. It's going to be Aleem McNeil and those guys and the draft picks, because that's what it is. Because I always come back to it. That's how you win in the NFL. If you look at the San Francisco 49ers, they're pretty much home built, as far as what they've done. So that's what I'm looking for. Is your draft picks have to be contributors. So, yeah, if you want to get technical about it and say, hey, what do you expect on the field? That's what I expect on the field. I expect to see these draft picks, the Brad Holmes draft regime, I expect him to wave the wand on this draft and to get players in here and to get things cooking. That's what it's going to take. That's what it's going to take. And, look, I know in some of the comments that we have going on, as far as like our YouTube thread and stuff like that, and the people are saying, like Doug Fungus says 0-17 is much more likely than 10-7, though. Along the ice said, I never said they would go 10-7, but I don't, they're not going to go 0-17 as well. And, it's just, that's what it is for me. Just how are these draft picks going to be, man? Now, when you cut down to it, how are the draft picks?
All right, what's up, Chuck? I like what Chuck says. He said, agree, JD, if they lay it out all on the field, I can live with losses. It goes back to why Detroit is so upset with Blake, lack of effort. And you can see the lack of effort that Blake had here when he was in Detroit versus when he went to the Nets. And that was something that it was clear as day. It was clear as day. But I guess when you get to a team where you're not the focal point and you don't have to be, quote unquote, the leader of the team, I guess it can energize you when not as much as ask of you. And so that's why I have so much respect for, say, a guy like LeBron James, a guy that can go out there year in, year out and be available for his team. So too much. That's the only thing I want. I want to see effort. Everything else will fall. Take care of the little things.
Yeah.
The big
you
things
just want to see the light.
Well, that's the thing. And if I could do one thing, but they're not going to allow me, I give DeAndre Swift the Coast Portland gift certificate for the day so he could get a machete and cut through that 49ers defense. You know what? I've talked about coastportland.com, WSN, 20% off. We got knives, we got lamps. Today's Friday, hashtag how we coast. Machete, 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 and a lamp for the dark, because I don't trust myself. That was Emmett Lane from Burton. Mr. Lane, look for your Mike Broadwell sending your gift certificate so you can enjoy your $100 free gift certificate to Coast Portland and get yourself a machete. And hopefully maybe we can use this to help DeAndre Swift work his way through the defense of the San Francisco 49ers. If not, go to coastportland.com, WSN, 20% off. We are Big D Energy, and we will be right back.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back to Big D Energy here on the Woodward Sports Network. Just a couple minutes, we'll be joined by Sean Mann, the CEO of Detroit City FC, here on Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. He's Joique Bell. And D-Mac, Darren McCarty in the house. We've been talking about, the Detroit Lions, because that's what's on front of mind for everybody. Tampa Bay got the win. We didn't get a chance to rap about that. I mean, just real quick, just to touch on the Tampa Bay-Dallas game. D-Mac, I think you kind of said it best, because I felt the exact same way you did. We have to take a minute and acknowledge Dak Prescott and say, hey, we were wrong, bro.
Well, and say that I gave him my hats off to you, Dak, because you've earned that money, or what he did last night. I did not think that not only coming off the injury, but he is legit, and Jerry Jones knew what he was doing, gave him the money and stuff like this, and they went toe-to-toe last night. I was more impressed with what Dallas did than I was with what Tampa Bay did. But, again, Tom Brady's a GOAT at 44, finding a way to do it. How many times have we seen the Brady-Gronk connection? You got Antonio Brown out there burning guys, scoring touchdowns. So Tampa came out and did what they needed to do, and that's win the game. But I was impressed. Yes, Dak Prescott got I owe Pilar. Miss Pilar Lastra, that's a shout out to your Cowboys and to your Dak Prescott, because you always did believe in Dak. So I'll give that to Ms. Pilar Lastra on that one. But I was impressed.
Right, and for me, it was Gronk again, man. The 100th time. The 100th time Tom Brady and Gronk have hooked up for a touchdown.
Gronk.
That's like Jerry Rice, Joe Montana territory.
It is. It's up there. And the thing that's more impressive, so I'm not taking anything away from Dallas, right? I'm not taking anything away from Dallas. But I was more impressed, I'm going to say, with Tampa than Dallas. And the reason I'm going to say this is not because they played a great game. I'm going to say the reason I say I'm so impressed with them, because it's almost a 90% chance, or somewhere between 85 to 90% chance of you losing or chances to lose the game when you have 4 turnovers, or when you lose a turnover ratio by 3. 2 fumbles, 2 picks, to Dallas 1 interception. Dak played smart football. Tampa made a lot of mental errors. The only pick that would say that was warranted was when he threw the Hail Mary at the end of the second quarter. All right, that's fine. All right, but the tip ball by Fournette when they picked it off, the fumble by Fournette, the fumble by, I believe, was Goodwin. You can't have those type of mistakes when you're rushing down there in the red zone, especially Goodwin down there inside the 10-yard line, and you fumble right there. And for Tom Brady to be able to come back, keep his team in it, and not putting everything on Tom Brady because it was a team effort, but at the end of the day, great. I mean, their defense held up, and Tom Brady was able to go down and be able to set up the game-winning field goal. Do you have that video that I sent you, Art, of Brady? Can you play it real quick? This is when I knew. This is when you knew. You gave me too much time. A minute, 24 seconds. You gave me too much time on the clock.
That's
Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?
And
You're going to give me a minute, 24 seconds?
Right, exactly.
To go down here?
For a field goal.
For a field goal. We don't need a touchdown.
Here's the analogy. And Doug Fungus. Yes, Dak Prescott didn't look good throwing the ball down the field, but what I liked is that he took what Tampa gave him. He did not overcome through a lot of the short passes and stuff. And yes, because I would expect Jared Goff hopefully to be able to do a game like that, to be able to use the outlets, tight ends, running backs and stuff like that, and get if San Francisco gives them. That's why I liked it. So
yeah, so real quick, I want to play that video one more time. I want you to see the look in his eyes. See the look in his eyes. I love that dog. That's that gorilla. He looked across the field and I knew what it was.
You knew what time it was.
I knew what time it was. Look at his eyes. You can see that gorilla in his eyes.
You done messed up, bro. You done messed up.
Absolutely. Right now, as promised, we are joined by the CEO of Detroit City FC, one of the co-owners as well, Sean Mann, as we go from football to football talk. They will be in action at historic Keyworth Stadium tomorrow at 4 p.m. playing against New Amsterdam, the first place in NISA, Detroit City FC. Sean, how are you, man? Appreciate the time. How's things?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. You're down there at the Detroit City clubhouse, huh?
Yeah, at Clubhouse. The guys are doing training right now, so they're not back for lunch yet, so I've got the place to myself. But yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Sean, as we talked about, you guys back in action 4 o'clock tomorrow at Keyworth. You can get tickets at DebtCityFC.com. I talked with Trevor James yesterday. We do this thing every week for the broadcast where he kind of brings me up to speed as to what's going on. And the question was asked to him, you guys haven't lost a road match in 3 years. Have you ever seen anything in the history of sports like this?
I mean... I'm not a huge statistician. I was kind of taken back when that stat popped up in the last week or so among fans. Yeah, I mean, we had to scratch our heads and think back to the last time we lost, and it's kind of surreal, to be honest, right? I mean, the guys in general haven't lost a game in over a year now, so it's a pretty amazing run, and yeah, I mean, as the head of the organization, just the amount of pride, right now is pretty surreal, and yeah, I mean, hopefully people are enjoying the moment because I can't guarantee it's going to go on forever, right?
No, you just win every match, Sean. That's the way it's got to be, right, D-Mac?
Well, here's my question. I was just talking to Sean Mann, CEO of Detroit City Football Club. You are the most successful organization in town, and not just, Neal was mentioning the production not being, undefeated and stuff like that. Forget that. Talk about the atmosphere and what you've built. I think that the atmosphere that you've built down in Hamtramck by not only the Northern Guard, but there's something to it. And in this city, what is, something that people don't really understand, but that is a huge part of the culture. And for myself, being a part of the Red Wing organization through the 90s and 2000s when we were successful, it's tough to go every game where you're the measuring stick. But you've done it so well, not only on the field, but off. What has been the biggest challenge, or for you, being the head guy that has to look at the financials and everything else? So I just look back in the 3 years when you haven't lost a road game, but building this Detroit Football Club to what it has been your pride. But looking back, I want to see, how did you get it, the fans and the atmosphere and the team and everything to gel to be the culture to be one that it is?
We're coming up on our 10th anniversary. So, I mean, we've been at this for a while, and it was me and my partners who started this, and we each chipped in $2,200 to get going, which was basically a set of goals at Cast Tech and some practice jerseys. And, that is how we got it going. And I think the key from the very beginning is that, we've embraced our supporters, and, they are the life of the party. We're the host of the party. We don't have cheerleaders. We don't have flamethrowers. We have these fans who care about the team, and we've let them run with it. And they're the ones who create that atmosphere, and that feeds the whole organization. And it's really grassroots. We are normal guys, right? I don't have some Goldman Sachs advisor. I'm not a billionaire. I'm a normal guy who lives in Southwest Detroit, and so are my partners. And so, you will see us passing out programs at the games. And it's that accessibility and that culture that we built up among the fans, where they have a sense of ownership. And that was always figurative, and now it's literal. Coming through COVID, we sold 10% of the club to nearly 3,000 people. And so they have a stake, and they care about the club, not just as a fan, but because they've been there since Cast Tech, and they've built it up. They put in the sweat equity, and they're the ones. You don't see a lot of our ads anywhere. We don't have billboards all over town. We don't have TV commercials, but we did a fan survey, and 87% of our fans in 2019 actively recruited a friend or family member to come to a game. They are our marketing department, and so they have that sense of pride in everything going on, and that's been the key, I think, to DCFC's success.
That's pretty cool, because I used to live downtown, right off of Woodward, walking distance from Cass Tech, and I would always hear about the soccer team over at Cass Tech, and I never knew who it was. So they would always say it's so packed there. We need a professional soccer team here.
Right.
And so when I reach out to my friends or different sports or even front office from different teams, it was talks that the MLS was bringing the team here. Did they ever talk to you guys about turning you guys into an MLS team or joining?
Yeah, I mean, we've had conversations with MLS and the other pro leagues. I mean, we've been building this up, like any small business, incrementally every single year. And, so when Gilbert and Gores in 2016 were looking to bring MLS to Detroit, and they were kicking the tires on that, our fans, a good portion of them took offense to it. And I ended up having a conversation with Don Garber, commissioner of MLS, and he asked, why do your fans hate MLS so much? And I said it wasn't as much that they hate MLS, it's more that they have a club that they've invested time and energy in and that they have an emotional connection to. And so, they've put in that effort to see us continually grow. And so, we went from a amateur summer ball team to now, a professional squad, professional roster. We've added a women's team. We now have 2,000 kids that play in our youth system across this region. And, every year we keep on taking new projects and keep building it up. And so, when you start talking to MLS, at this point, for them, they care about markets, but they want owners. They want it's a guys club, and they want the right billionaire in that group, and we're not billionaires. And so, we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing, keep building this, and I encourage you guys to come out if you haven't been to a game because again, seeing is believing, and I say we're the most Instagrammable moment in Detroit sports. We're certainly. Pre-COVID, I say we're most like water cooler event in Detroit sports. You go back to the office, Monday morning, you tell your coworkers and everybody, you won't believe what I did, and you won't believe what's going on at Keyworth. But now that's on social media, and so come on out, you'll be taken back that this is happening in Detroit, and and I think everybody who goes to the game becomes a zealot.
Well, Sean, certainly we do appreciate the time. I know DMAC has said it. He wants to be out there. I know we were talking about September 18th, maybe against Stumptown. We'll get Joique out there. We'll make it happen, Sean, right? You'll set it up.
I'm all about it. The best.
We'll make it a memorable night.
Yeah, because is he heading out right now? Can you stay on a little bit longer? Okay.
Yeah. But Sean, we do appreciate the time, my friend. Well, we'll be back out the DCFC Friday. That'll roll on here on Big D Energy, and we'll see you down there.
Thanks, Sean.
Great. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, Sean Mann, CEO, co-owner of Detroit City FC. It's on and popping down there, guys. I mean, it is. If you haven't been, if you don't know about it, debtcityfc.com. Get some tickets. The matches will be on TV 20 tomorrow here in Detroit. I'll be on the call, 4 o'clock. Shameless plug.
What time does the shenanigans get going down there? What time?
They're over at the Folding Warehouse. They're there.
They're
there when they put the key in the door at the Folding Warehouse. They're there. They're out there getting it in. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Kyler McMichael. He's defensive back for the North Carolina Tar Heels. I want to pick his brain on Sam Howell a little bit, too, like being a teammate with him. The Lions fans, they have a stake. So we'll talk with Kyler about that, being in that environment at Virginia Tech to start the season. All that when we come back. It's Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Back at it here, Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, DMAC, Darren McCarty here in the house. Appreciate Sean Mann's time. We're making the rounds here, man, just talking about Detroit and the stuff that's going on in and around the city. Hopefully you guys can all be a part of that. In a few minutes, we'll be joined by Kyler McMichael, defensive back for UNC. And they played that game that went viral around social media, that video of Virginia Tech at Lane Stadium. We had Drew Lane on the show at Arts Beats and Eats on Friday. He's a Virginia Tech Hokie.
And he asked, he said, did VTech have a chance? And they sure as heck did.
Yeah.
I think that it gets back to the first week, what it was the atmospheres, everybody coming back, seeing whether it was the Big Ten or the SEC or wherever the games were, is that fans are ready to see their college football teams in action. So definitely exciting, and a few upsets, few things. Yeah, I think that if you look at it, right, Georgia moves up to number 2 now that with everything with the Delta variant and stuff like that we will continue through this year, no matter if it's college or pro, is to have a conversation each week on how it affects some program. So it's just sort of getting used to it. So it'll be interesting to talk, like I said, to Kyler McMichael, the UNC defensive back, who is living it.
Yeah,
right, living it. It's always nice to hear about guys living it, Joique? Like, right in the heat of the action.
What about that, Joique? Like, you go into a building, like you go into the Superdome to play the Saints, and it's hype, man. Like,
it's funny you say that. So it's funny. So when I was there, they have this thing at the beginning of the game, and the night before, they select a player to do the drop, and I'm just calling it the drop. It might be called something else. So you go do the coin toss, and the next day they select you. The next day you go out, you do the coin toss, and when the coin toss is over, you walk to the back of the end zone. Every home game, one person goes to the back of the end zone, and he put his hand in the air. He put his hand in the air, and he walks around the back of the end zone, and the whole crowd is quiet. You can a pin. If you drop the pin, it'll sound like a bomb. And the crowd is quiet. He's walking around. You can feel the anticipation. And as he gets them just quiet enough to where he has everyone's attention, he drops it. And when he drops it, the whole crowd, the entire crowd, who that talk about beating them? And it's electrifying.
Yeah.
It sent chills up my back. The first time I heard it in person, I was actually on the Saints, and when I heard it in person, I'm like, what? I had never experienced that before.
Yeah.
And it was these chills went down my spine, and I was ready to play. I was ready to play. And so when I left the Saints and I came to the Lions at the end of the 11th season, our first game in the postseason was against the Saints. And it was at their home, and we went back there, and now I heard it from the other side, and it still sent chills up my spine.
Still sent chills up the spine.
It did.
And right now, as promised, we're joined by Kyler McMichael, defensive back for the North Carolina Tar Heels. And Kyler, I appreciate your time. And Joique Bell, who used to play for the Detroit Lions, Darren McCarty, 4-time Stanley Cup champion, here with me on Big D Energy. But Kyler, what about that, man? Joique was telling about walking into the New Orleans Superdome. The game you guys played in certainly went viral across the country. Just did you feel that, even being on the other team, with Virginia Tech and the inner Sandman and stuff like that? What's going through your mind, man, when all that's going on?
Oh, no, I'm sure you guys are well aware of the environment in Virginia Tech.
Right.
Sandman and everything coming into it, and finally getting back to a normal college football atmosphere. It was brand new to a couple of guys, and honestly, even though I played in an atmosphere like that before, it's kind of brand new to me. So it kind of caught us all off guard. But it was definitely something that it rattled us a little bit, but at the same time, we were excited.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you're excited to be here. Your dad actually is from the Detroit area. I know he's probably watching right now, so shout out to your dad. But again, appreciate you taking the time to join us here. What about that? I mean, you guys walk into that, and I've always admired this about college football players in that they don't get 3 preseason games. They don't get a walkover or anything like that. I mean, you guys, we know the book. North Carolina certainly was on a lot of people's radar, the nationally rankings, all that kind of stuff. You guys don't get any warm-ups or do-overs or anything like that. You got to walk right into the teeth of the jungle against Virginia Tech. How tough is that, game one out of the chute, to walk into that place?
No, you're right. It was tough. I mean, we came in a team with a lot of hype coming into it all. Of course, we want to be able to live up to that expectation. At the end of the day, it's just about going out and being who we are and playing. So, after that game, of course, it wasn't the outcome we wanted, but we definitely, took pieces from that game that we need to come back next week and build upon.
That's great stuff. So real quick, how do you guys prepare? How do the coaches there prepare you guys for that type of environment? I know when I played, we might be in a practice facility and they have the big speakers in there and they're turning them all the way up, so you have to yell to the person next to you. How do you guys how do you guys prepare for that?
Man, I mean, I believe we heard the song Sam Man at least 100 plus times. Our coach definitely made that the kind of the statement piece coming into this game, like, hey, Sam Man's the song. So this is what it sounds like. Get used to it. And, I mean, we just repped the crap out of it. So we came into it, heard Sam Man a bunch of times. I know we, like you said, blasted the speakers during practice. So the offense can kind of get used to it and playing under all that, volume. So yeah, it was definitely something.
Okay.
My question, you were talking to Kyler McMichael, the UNC defensive back. Now, you mentioned your tough loss, first game. What is the message from the coaching staff, or you guys have to regroup? Because, you got you got a whole season left to play. And to take this disappointment, and trust me, for my professional career, is that through lack of success, it can breed success. So what's the message, and how do you focus, and what do you focus on, I guess, going into the game this week, trying to right the wrong?
Yeah, I mean, we tried to turn that negative into a positive. Like, it put a chip on everybody's shoulder. We came into the season, with all that hype behind us, like I said before. But I think what it did now is just kind of made us, focus a little bit more, not about the hype, but focus in more about us. So going into it, doing what we did last year, focusing on our assignment and getting our things done, and winning our 111.
Kyler, you being a defensive back at North Carolina, certainly Detroit fans here know the name Dre Bly. Went to Pro Bowls here as a Detroit Lion. He's your coach over there now, the cornerbacks coach with North Carolina. What do you pick from him? Does he tell you about the Pro Bowl days being a Detroit Lion?
Oh yeah, Dre's my guy. Yeah, he's. I mean, as you guys know, he was a baller. So I mean, I try to pick his brain as much as I can. I mean, with the success he had in his career, 40+ picks. I mean, not many people can even come close to that. So just being able to pick pieces from his game and being able to apply it in my game is huge. And that was one of the biggest pieces why I decided to come to UNC, because I saw he was going to be the corners coach here, and I just knew how great of a football player he was. And being able to pick his brain and just being able to take pieces and apply it in my game, I believe is definitely going to make me successful in the long run.
So did your dad kind of introduce you to Dre Bly? Was that your father who introduced you to him?
Yeah, my dad was a big Dre Bly fan coming into it. So he was definitely excited about that. I mean, my dad comes up, Dre will tell you, my dad comes up every weekend, and he's going to be there. He's gonna make sure he gets his word in with Dre, ask how I play, just get tips and pointers and everything. So yeah.
So before we let you go, I'm going to ask you one more question. I'm going to kind of revert back to what you said. We're talking about you guys have to focus on us. You have to focus on yourself. I think you would be a great fit here with sports because you love a lot of the same things we love here. No, I heard you wear a, what is that, Call of Duty. So you love Call of Duty.
I do.
Huh? You do? All right, so hold up. Which mode did you play? Do you play multiplayer? Do you play plunder? Do you play battle royale? Which one? Like, what's your go-to?
I play multiplayer most of the time. I know a lot of people got into Warzone, that battle royale mode.
Yeah.
I kind of got into it, but I mean, I've always stuck true to my roots, playing multiplayer, search and destroy, domination, team deathmatch.
Domination is my thing. Like, that's my game. Like, domination, that's my game right there. Hey, let me know your game. Are you on PS4 or are you on the Xbox?
I'm on PlayStation.
Oh, thank God. Thank goodness. Thank God.
Well, Kyler, we'd be remiss if we didn't ask you about this here in Detroit. Certainly the draft is going to be a focus here for the next couple of years in Detroit, and the quarterback spot certainly has a bright light on it here in Detroit as well. Sam Howell, you go against him every single day in practice. You know the ins and the outs. Break it down for everybody that's watching here that are Lions fans, that are draft geeks, kind of like I am. Break down Sam Howell so we can say if the Lions end up drafting him last year, we can say, well, here's what he does well because Kyler told us.
Oh, I mean, ultra focus coming into it. It's just such a professional business type mindset when he comes in, first one in the facility, last one to leave, of course. Just all the great traits that a quarterback usually has. And I mean, it's just so tough going up against him in practice. I mean, we get a great look every week. So I feel like coming into the game week, we don't see anything really that matches that. So, I mean, that's great for the defense. But, yeah, Sam's just a guy who just comes with such a high level of maturity and just, you know, affects everybody around him. So, yeah, just a great guy, and I think he's definitely going to be successful at the next level.
Kyler, I appreciate that. I appreciate that layup you just gave me. It was a great segue. High level.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Kyler, we certainly do appreciate your time. Good luck in the game coming up this weekend against Georgia State. You guys bounce back, and I'll expect to see you guys there at the end.
No, I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Absolutely. Kyler McMichael of UNC, defensive back, goes against Sam Howell every day, man. So he's seen it at every level.
He's seen it. He's seen it at every level. So Levels and Center Line is now open. Starting right now, get 10% off of your order by just mentioning Woodward Sports. Whether you're in the store or on the app, make sure you mention Woodward Sports to get your 10% off. Everything from Teak Grizzly gas to that D-Max special strain and edibles on sale right now.
Jet Fuel Gelato's good.
Oh, download the Enjoy Levels app today and start saving money right now. You see, when I said that the edibles for D-Mac, he said,
It just got calm right quick.
It brings you down. Go check out Levels, Woodward Sports.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Off and running here today on Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, Big D Energy, D-Mac, Darren McCarty in the house. Fish is in the bowl as well. Art is getting a workout in today, man. Shout out to you. Look, Joique, even the most ardent Art hater such as yourself, you got to give Art a little bit today. A little bit, right? You got to give him a little bit of credit today.
The only workout is dealing with Joique. You guys are great. This is easy.
No, man, he's been,
appreciate that.
He's been the dude.
It's just when I'm told, like, if I want to have something added, send it in before 9 a.m.
And he doesn't ever.
I didn't send. What time did I send?
No, you literally sent the Brady clip during the show, and I played it. No.
So what about the one I sent this morning? I asked for a graphic for it,
and I made a graphic for it. Do you want to see it?
Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah, I bet you do. Well, when we get to that segment, we'll do that.
Okay, look at that.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a ton of interaction here in our YouTube chat. And remember, you can subscribe to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Jump in that chat, get your thoughts known as well. Certainly on the radio, 93.5 FM, 99.1 FM, and 94.7 WH. On 94.7 HD2 WCSX as well. Wherever you're consuming the show, we're certainly glad that you are. But a lot of stuff going on this weekend, as we said, and there's some reaction to the Call of Duty discussion that you had with Kyler McMichael from UNC. Extreme Shaft says Xbox Live is the varsity.
Yeah, and PS5 is the pros. NFL.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not going to say that. I'm not even going to say the pro. I'm going to say it's the All Pro.
It's the All Pro.
It's the All Pro. It's the All Pro to NFL.
Yeah,
like it's not even close.
And then there's some draft reaction because there always is. Jake says, I'd wait till 2023 for a QB unless someone comes out of the woodwork and shines this year. I'm on the fence for Rattler, though. I'll say that, Jake. I agree with you. Like the Spencer Rattler thing, there were things with him that I saw that I really liked, and there were things I saw that I really didn't like. I was disappointed with what Sam Howell did, but, it's one of those things, D-Mac, that environment – your first game, and if it sounds like I'm making excuses for the kid, I mean, I guess I kind of am. It's such a big ass to walk into that.
But do you not want, right? We're talking about somebody who we're thinking of being your professional quarterback, your franchise quarterback. A lot of times when you get for lack of a better term, a poop sandwich thrown in your face early on, that will test your acumen and just show maybe your character and stuff like this. So I'd be more interested to see how Sam Howell responds, how this University of North Carolina team responds, how Spencer Rattler, how a lot of these guys respond, how Michigan State, Walker III, how does he come running this game? It's what have you done for me lately? And a lot of times with these young guys, when you're faced with adversity early, that can really set the tone for your career. And guys like, who am I looking at? I look at a guy like a Drew Brees. Never supposed to make it, never given anything but work, and put the reps in until you can't tell him that he's not one of the greatest to ever play.
Not only that, tore his shoulder. They thought he'll never play again.
Right? So, again, a lot of this time, and that's adversity, to a different extent too, but guys will have injury adversity, they'll have losses adversity, they'll have projection adversity. Let's see what these kids are made of, and you might be able to see character-wise, is this what you want moving forward? So it's a blessing. Not for your school in your bowl bid or for the national championship, but in your professional sports for your franchise quarterback.
You know what's crazy? Reverting back to what you said about Drew Brees, you remember we had the NFL lockout?
Yes.
That was 2011.
Yeah, whatever year it was. Yeah.
Drew Brees, I've never seen a person do this or even heard of it. Brought out a trainer, his trainer from San Diego. He rented out a hotel for every teammate who didn't live in New Orleans. Rented out the Tulane sports facility and put on his own OTA mini camp throughout the whole off season while we couldn't get into the Saints facility.
People sleep on how hungry he was to win, man.
Bro, and then not only did he provide that, but also bought like meal vouchers every morning before we went to go work out. And the only thing he asked was that we left on the weekend, let him know so he can cancel our room, and then he'll get us another one when we come back. And did that for the entire team.
Damn.
There's a different kind of gorilla, right? There's different kind.
That showed me a different, like
there's different kind of gorilla.
That showed me a different side of a leader.
That's Caesar in Planet of the Apes.
I never played with a leader like that.
Right.
But then again, I never had to play with a guy who was put in that position during a lockout. Right. But I have never, he was the epitome of a leader. A guy who held everyone accountable, treated everyone like men, never talked down on anyone. And you saw the work he put in, so it made you want to work harder. And that's why they were so successful. That's why he was successful. And some things you just can't teach.
I got a question since we're talking, and we were talking about the military and stuff like that. But does that Saints, from watching all behind the scenes or whatever, but their locker room, their mentality has a lot of that military feed to it, when you hear Drew Brees and doing a lot of things with the military, but to me he is like that general, right? He's like that general, like you said that, and to me there's certain guys like it. Steve Eiserman's a lot like that, behind the things you don't know leadership wise because they don't come out and boast it. It's just who they are as men, and you follow them. So that I love to hear that about guys who you respect too.
Yeah, for sure.
Here's a question I have too that I wanted to run by you, Joique, and we're just kind of, I'm summing up the topics of discussion in the YouTube chat. There's a lot of talk about Antonio Brown last night, and I know I'm going off the rails here a little bit, but trust me, because I have these same kinds of questions. I'm a big Antonio Brown guy. Derek says AB is the truth. Go Buccaneers. Jeffrey Hall says Antonio Brown will be the best wide receiver in the league by the end of the year. Again, I'm about the entertainment. I was actually at his game in Miami when that game he played with the Patriots. That one, that one game. I was down there for work already, but I was like, oh man, I'll slide over and check it out. And he scored a touchdown in that game. Break Antonio Brown down for the people here. How can somebody who's been through so much, that comes in and out of lineups, that gets suspended, when you throw him the ball, he produces. Every single time. Every time. Why?
Shout out to AB for being able to deal with adversity. I actually did my pro day with AB when we came out together in 2010. Met him, great guy. We was able to talk briefly at the pro day, and played against him numerous times. And a guy that I respect his play on the field, but how he was able to deal with adversity. Now, some things he might have done
to himself,
right? But to be able to deal with those things and be able to come back and white noise, all the media, the distraction, and just hone in on this craft and come back and have a game like five catches for 121 yards and a touchdown, and just say, you know what, I'm here to play. Came back last year, won the Super Bowl, was very effective for this team, and shout out to Tom Brady with going to bat for him to get him there. And
but that's the thing. When you talk about that's leadership in another way, because accountability, and obviously Tom Brady has Antonio Brown's accountability in check as
and
far
has
as
his best interest, and not only that, but also has his best interest. And
right, there's one thing is saying, I'm not just supporting you because you're a great receiver. I believe in you as a person, and that's those mental health issues and stuff like that. But again, that's that leadership that we're talking about. Drew Brees, that Tom Brady, that you cannot, because that's life. That's the life stuff, and whether you like Antonio Brown or not, there's talent on the field.
Hey,
they know
when you throw the ball up to AB, he's coming down with it.
Yeah. So
end of story.
And then you look at everything behind the scenes.
Like happier, AB.
Yes. So this is what I'm about to revert to. So not that he just go there, and not that Tom Brady only go to bat for him, but like Tom Brady will have him at his home, have him over for dinner. Kind of hung out, probably staying in contact with him throughout the offseason, making sure he's mentally together, making sure he's in a great mental space, making sure he's doing everything the right way. And when you have a guy like that in your locker room that really cares about you, and now and plus you respect Tom Brady because of who he is, right? Because of what he's done. He has a track record. And so you have this type of guy who's going to back for you, and you see the type of work he's putting in. There's no way you're going to do anything to jeopardize the success of this one particular guy, because you're a valuable piece to this offense, and you're only going to strengthen this offense. And so I'm glad to see everything is working out for him. I just hope and I pray this continues.
Yeah, what was the biggest thing in Pittsburgh? He didn't feel appreciated. And if you have the GOAT that says, I appreciate you, then you give something back. So there's a win-win there.
You know what I appreciate? Pizza. Papa Romano's Pizza. It's lunchtime right now,
thank goodness.
folks. There it is. Papa Romano's handcrafts pizza that have made them a Detroit favorite for over 50 years. House-made dough, hand-cut veggies, and fresh cheese. They make all the difference. The same quality goes into all of their pizzas, the salads, the subs, the pitas. It makes no difference. Order now at PapaRomano'sPizza.com. Look at that thing up on your screen.
That looks like the greatest edible right now.
Look at that pizza up on your screen. It's lunchtime right now. Do the smart thing. Go to PapaRomano'sPizza.com. Stop torturing yourself and do it. We'll be right back with more Big D Energy.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Call hallfirst.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device. Welcome back to Big D Energy, motoring towards your weekend here. Don't forget, I have the Neal Ruhl Get Right late night Saturday football pick coming up. Fish pumps his fist for that one. And you guys should too, because I'm going to get you right. If Saturday during the day doesn't go your way, say you go 0-5, you're down a C note or something like that, I'll get you back to good. I will. I promise you. Ride with me. I'm 1-0. As D-Mac knows, D-Mac's been a believer since the beginning. And Darren, I don't want to hear on Monday when we roll in here and somebody says, "Oh man, damn, Neal was right again." No, D-Mac started this train.
Well, that's it. No, it is right. And I will tell you guys, because if you've been watching Woodward Sports forever, this is not the Mazaway specials where he will not reverse sway. He will get you right. You could sit down, and I would just say, most enjoyable trying to watch a team cover. It happened. It was 31.5, but because of the 10-0 lead at halftime,
you never were in doubt.
It wasn't. It was like, go ahead, fumble that, intercept that.
It doesn't matter.
It's all right. At the end of the day, cha-ching. mybookie.ag.
And no sweat involved. Just get your Darren McCarty brand,
Oh, absolutely.
Get your DMAC
Go over
brand.
to Levels, pick up your Max 69.
Yeah, get your Max 69, pour another, whatever it
level
is you
down,
do.
level up, whatever way
you don't
wanna
have to
go.
level up all the time, right, Joy?
You don't have to level up all the time. You can level down.
Sometimes you can
level
just
down.
But that's where we'll be with the Neal Ruhl Get Right special. It's coming up in about 28 minutes or so. I want to touch on this because this is about what we thought it would be, but it's more intriguing when you see it in print. Darren Ravel put out a tweet, said the top 5 and the bottom 3 get-in ticket prices for this week's NFL games. And what the get-in ticket price means, the absolutely cheapest ticket that you can find on the secondary market. And I was mildly surprised, but I guess I shouldn't be. Ravens Raiders at the top of the list by far, but they are opening the new stadium out there. It's Vegas.
You'll be out there next week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. See, Joique's going to be in there,
Be out there
getting it
next
in.
week.
Joique's going to be out there getting it in. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
But it's Vegas. It's the new stadium. So yeah, I understand that. Cowboys Bucs obviously was a big ticket. That's where.
Yeah. Neville Lawson. He's in. He's with the Raiders. Shout out to Neville.
Yeah, well, people paying big money to go see his squad. And the usual suspects are up there. Steelers, Bills. Watch the Bills shoot up this list as the year goes on. Bills Nation, man, they are all in. And hey, you know what? Good for Bills Nation.
How's it? I mean, off the history, the Dolphins and the Pats are above the Steelers and the Bills right now. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, down in Miami, you have because I went to the Dolphins-Patriots game. I was telling you guys about that when Antonio Brown was playing.
Yeah.
The thing is, with Miami, there's a lot of East Coast people that live down there. So, like a lot of Boston area, New York area, all that stuff. Yeah. There were more Patriots fans at that game than there were Dolphins games.
It's funny because when my former teammate, when Reggie was there, he would say it's like you have fans there. They have fans. But when you go there, it's not like that atmosphere of
it's like a split crowd.
It's like a split crowd. Yeah. You have people there who just wants to be there. You have people who just they just happy to get to the game. They just want to see a good game. And he just said it's different.
Yeah,
right? It's more of a look at me.
It is different. And I went there with a buddy of mine who set up a tailgate in Miami, and it was 92 degrees. The heat index was like 99 or something like that. And the tailgate scene out there, it's funny. If they see you go to the cooler and get a water and you start to drink out of it, they'll start cheering you to chug the water. They're like, chug, 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 so you can stay hydrated. It's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, like it's. I know people would say off the rip it's kind of corny, but having been through that tailgate experience there before, it's necessary, man. Like you don't realize how hot it is until you're out there in that parking lot in the sun, man.
Until you're in it.
Until you're in it, man. You don't understand. But, as we were looking at that, to no one's surprise, Jaguars, Texans, you can get into that game for $18.
$18.
$18 for an NFL game. 49ers, Lions. I was a bit surprised, though, to see the Lions the second lowest in the league, just because, hope sells, man. Hope does.
Give it 2 years. I guarantee we won't be in the bottom.
Yeah.
We might not be in the bottom 10. 2 years.
I mean, just
so this year, next year, going into that third year, watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you.
2023, man.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. 2023. No, but I am intrigued, obviously, to see that Ravens Raiders games. Steelers Bills. I'll say this too about Steelers Bills, Joique, is this is one of those. And look, the Bills were good last year. Obviously, made it to the playoffs, made some noise in the playoffs, won a game. This is another one of those measuring stick games, I think, for the Bills to truly shed that image. And the Lions, when 2023 rolls around, Joique, the Lions will have to do this with the Packers. Like you'll truly know that you're there when you beat up on the Packers. You know what I'm saying? Like take advantage of the Packers. This is one of those games, I think, one of those style games for the Bills where you have to beat the Steelers. And look, the Steelers, the Steelers are not what they used to be. But it's one of those take stock games.
But they are what they used to be because they just signed their most important player, T.J. Watt.
They really went out of character with that, man. They gave him huge money.
Well, they're not what they used to be as far as the run game. Right?
But maybe they will be.
But what I'm saying is that Neal is totally right. This is Buffalo's time to see if they're the real deal to take care of your division. Right, because they're going to have to go through Pittsburgh, and if they want to build on what they did last year, now's the time to do it. But I still, this line at 6.5 is, I get it, but I mean, it's the first week of the season. I don't.
Especially if the Bills come out and cover
I'm not that confident in saying, I'm going to lay the 6.5.
Yeah, if the Bills come out and cover that number convincingly,
yeah.
I think that's another step. And I'm not saying that they arrive or anything like that, because they have my attention. They have my attention. I'm intrigued by the Buffalo Bills. I want to see what they're
Put
about.
money on it? You game betting on it?
That's too many points, man. It's too many points.
I stayed away from that game.
Yeah.
You stayed away from that game?
No, it is. It's too many points. Like, that's just... I don't know, man. That's one of those things where you'll see. Along the ice says Bills fans are out there and the tailgate's dying. I mean, they're jumping through tables, and that'll probably be the next thing you hear. I mean, we know about the Bills Mafia lore.
They are jumping through tables. I don't understand the logic of them jumping through tables, but they are. They're doing it.
But they're out there in those streets. They're doing it anyway. What else do we have? Chad, but not that Chad, says that hopium's a hell of a drug. Hopium, man. Hopium. If you're a hopium dealer, you move product this time of year.
I know it's on the prep already, but they were voted to have the best fan base. So the Bills.
Yeah,
they won the Fox fan bracket. Maz sent me this video, and I'm just going to play it because I feel like Maz just was at home laughing at this. But check this out. It's the Red Bull space dive.
That's the Bills
right through a table.
If he goes,
look at those folks, Joique.
Yeah, I just can't help but picture Maz.
Well, because it's so cold and they got to drink so much to stay warm that I guess their judgment's a little off.
And for those of you listening on the radio, it was an astronaut jumping out of the space shuttle into Buffalo through a table.
Jumps.
Yeah, one of the Red Bull jumps. But I mean, that's. And I like the way you put that. Like, you show the poll that the Bills won the best fan voting over the Browns, and then you show that video. That's all you need to know. You talked about that look on Tom Brady's face. Look at that look on that ball guy's face.
Listen, I'm a Josh Allen fan, and just from last year, like, I'm not like Buffalo Bills till I die. Like, this is something new because you watch the man play. It's some of the most entertaining throwing, running you'll ever see out of any quarterback. And it's just, I think they've got a chance to win it all this year. I really do. Looking at the odds yesterday, looking at the odds yesterday, I'm like, man, I could throw a 100 spot on that and make some good money.
Yeah, the hopium applies more to
find 100 though.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah. I don't have any sugar mamas.
The hopium is more for the 10-7 limo people.
Yeah.
You guys are strung out.
Let's be honest. If they beat the 49ers, I'm all in. But
I can't wait to see that tattoo on
you guys are buying the secondary Blue Magic hopium and stuff like that, man.
Well, I think it's the same Blue Magic that the guy from Breaking Bad is selling. But we're gonna get there. We'll get there. 10-7.
Yeah, absolutely. When we come back, we'll talk. I do want to touch on this, too. The Basketball Hall of Fame is coming up tomorrow. Ben Wallace is going in. I think we owe it to speak our piece.
Oh, for sure.
Ben Wallace going in the Hall of Fame with Chris Webber as well. Lots of Detroit representation tomorrow for the Basketball Hall of Fame. We're giving away those tickets, too. We'll be joined by the lucky recipient of the front row Big D Energy Detroit Lions San Francisco 49ers tickets. Mr. Dennis, I believe is his name. He'll be on with us coming up about 12:48. So make sure you stay tuned for that as well. And I'll get you right Saturday night. Coming down the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome to the Call Sam Chopper Shop, where you can win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time.
Watch as the Bad Pig Custom Team turns this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
And when it's finished, we'll be donating the bike to Volunteers of America Michigan to raffle off in support of our vets.
A great cause to give back to those who've given so much.
Watch for Call Sam Chopper Shop episodes on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
Neal Ruhl here for BetQL. Look, guys, do you want an advantage over your sports book? You can do one of two things. Number one, you can listen to my Get Right special coming up in about 20 minutes or so. Number two, you need to download BetQL, the only app you'll need to make smart bets. BetQL's best bets computer model scans 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best recommendation for every game, and it gives you the reasoning behind why you should place the bet. It gives you the why, people. Plus, their platform has all the data, all the analytics you'd ever need in place of doing your own betting research. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now to download BetQL. That'll get you started Enter the discount code WSN. That'll get you 25% off any of their subscription offerings. That's WSN. Get you 25% off. Make sure you check out their special offer in the video description in order to receive a free year of BetQL. Don't miss out on your chance to beat the sportsbook this fall with BetQL. Back at it here on Big D Energy. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, D-Mac, Darren McCarty in the house, coming down the stretch. It's a Friday again already, man. Just cooking through these weeks, Joique. Football, man, the bridge.
They'll only get faster now. Now we got college. Now we got pro. The meat and potatoes is sort of like the dog days of the summer.
Oh, you know, it's what's that dead zone? So I was taught this when I initially got into the media. Like, it's a dead zone, like from March until, or from February, like after the Super Bowl.
After the Super Bowl until March Madness, and then you get it again in
July, like
after the NBA Finals,
like mid-June.
Yeah, like
mid-June,
mid to late June through training camp.
Yeah,
those are your two dead spots.
Yeah, so. So you have these fillers. You put in there. So it was pretty dope to kind of learn that. I had a good mentor. Art taught me a lot of this stuff.
Art's a mentor in this game, man.
Yeah, Art's a man. 15 years in, right? 15 years in, Art.
Kalkaska's very own. Yeah. Flint's very own.
Did someone say dead spots? Never heard of dead spots.
No, but
just trying to equate in my brain what dead spots. So I never heard of dead spots.
Would you hear Rashawn?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. You must not have been listening. Go ahead.
Ben Wallace, Chris Webber getting in the Basketball Hall of Fame tomorrow, which, we touched on it for a few minutes earlier, where these Hall of Fame things that are getting kind of shoehorned into everything, it's not an optimum time, guys. It's just not right now. But Ben Wallace, the NBA champion, 4-time NBA All-Star, 4-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year, he will take his rightful place because, there was some talk about, is Ben worthy? Is he not worthy? He falls into that category with me. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. Ben Wallace is certainly a Hall. He was the best defender of a decade.
He was. Yeah. And then, hold up. So how do you feel about, so Ben Wallace is going in there. Chris Webber's going in there.
Yeah.
Is Chris Paul? You think Chris Paul's going out
Chris
there?
Paul will have to.
You think so?
Yeah, certainly he'll have to. I mean, he needs to win a title.
That's what I'm,
to validate.
Yeah, everything.
That, you know what I'm saying? Not to be a Hall of Fame or anything like that. To validate the barroom discussion.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. So I agree with that. That's why I really wanted him to win this past NBA champion. Like, he needed to win this NBA final. He was right there. So my next question, how you feel about Paul Pierce?
I mean, he was a good player. I mean, he was a good player. He won a title. I mean, is he like great to where I was like, oh man, I'm gonna go get a Paul Pierce jersey? No, he did come through for the Celtics and was a primary reason they won a championship though. So I got to give the man credit. He's not my cup of tea. I don't like his style of game, but he's all right.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
okay.
He's all right. But D-Mac, I mean, it's interesting he brought up the Chris Paul thing, and I do want to weigh this out for you because right or wrong, we in Detroit knew with Steve Yzerman, we knew he was the third best player on the planet. He was a Hall of Famer, no question about it. But I think for regular hockey fans that are sitting around the bar in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Stevie Y needed to get those cups, man.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but the championship discussion changes in different sports.
The whole narrative,
with different guys. I think with basketball, it's not as imperative to have that championship as it is to have that duration or be in the stats line to prove something like that. So everybody you're mentioning, obviously Ben Wallace, that's Detroit versus everybody. We know what an integral part he was, what a defensive guru, and sort of changed the game, and the bad boys, or in the sort of going to work Pistons and stuff like that, an integral part. So, and to me it just seems that there's more arguments to why guys will get in. They'll present him in the basketball. He'll get in because of this, so it seems like more people get in than not. But yeah, for a lot of times for the hockey guys, it matters. But, I look at a guy like Dino Ciccarelli, who never won a cup, but he had 600 goals. Well, that carries you on. Chris Paul's more of that type of guy.
But the Darren and Neal sitting on a bar stool in Minneapolis, Minnesota on a Monday night during the wintertime talking about hockey, though, Cicerelli's going to take that knock in the argument, man.
Yeah,
he just is.
He's going to take that knock, and then you're going to go. So what is the background? And if we're going to talk about Chris Paul, you could look at the stats, right? Because the stats will carry you to the hall if your championship can't. But again, just because you have championships and you're a part of a championship team, which I have 4, doesn't mean you're a Hall of Famer. Right, so it goes. It's different for each sport and each criteria in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that is true. But Chris Webber will be going in as well. A lot of news came out. C-Web said him and his Fab Five teammates will be reunited at the Hall of Fame induction.
There's some bad blood between Jalen and Webber.
That's what people were saying. I mean, I know Jalen did the documentary, the Fab Five documentary, which was great, by the way. If you haven't seen it, you need to, especially. Yeah. Because I love the Fab Five, that was my teenage years and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, I loved what they did.
They started the baggy shorts.
Yeah,
they started the baggy shorts.
They changed the way the game's played. They changed the fact that 5 freshmen could start and be really great and be a Final Four team with 4 freshmen or 5 freshmen. I mean, hasn't really been done since either. Hasn't been done before. Hasn't been done since. And that's like, look. I grow tired of the whole Michigan athletic department narrative with the Fab Five and the C-Web and, we're going to come out and we're going to apologize to C-Web now. Well, yeah, I mean, you guys got a lot of stuff going on too, Michigan, that you would like to kind of move the attention away from. I get how that works. But, at the same time, life is narrative driven, D-Mac. I'm the captain of both things can be true. And my secondary thought is, everything is narrative based, and for Michigan, it fits the narrative now to quote repair that relationship with C-Web as he's going into the Hall of Fame, and repair that relationship with the Fab Five. To me, it just seems like there's a lot of narratives at stuff at play.
30 years, man. There is a lot of narratives, but part of a lot of things we're talking about with what Juwan Howard's done with the Michigan program, it just seems like now's the time. Timing's everything in life, and now it seems like
bingo.
Right, timing's everything, and now it seems like the right time because of what's going on around these things.
Yeah, and look, make no mistake, you guys have heard me talk about the Michigan football program, and my thoughts are very clear on the Michigan football program. My thoughts are 180 as far as their basketball program goes. I mean, you can't deny what Juwan Howard's doing out there with Michigan. I mean, you can. He's building a beast out there, and the kids love him. And he's got great people around him, great coaches around him. Full disclosure, I worked with Sadie Washington at Oakland. He's a very good friend of mine. You cheer for your friends in this business, Joique. You do it.
Yeah.
You do it. I do it. Yeah.
It's great energy. You feed off of it, and that's the thing. When you are cheering on your friends or your teammates, that energy is gonna come right back around to you. I promise you. When I play, I tell you, energy is a major thing when you're out there playing. Energy is major when you're coaching. It's major in so many aspects of life. So you have to be able to put out that good energy. I promise you, it's going to come right back. It's going to come right back.
Absolutely.
Well,
we're going to take our final break. When we come back, we're giving away those tickets, front row tickets for the Lions and the San Francisco 49ers, the season opener. We'll do that when we come back. I'll get you my Get Right Saturday night, late night pick of the week as well. A lot to get to, not a lot of time. Coming down the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Big football weekend. Detroit Lions getting things going. And, all week we were pumping it out there. And now we have the winner of our front row tickets for the Lions and the 49ers Sunday at Ford Field as we welcome in our friend of the show, I guess, now, Dennis. Dennis, congratulations on winning the tickets. Look at that, guys. Look at that back there.
You know what we're going to say? I love how he has his camera centered. And have his head perfectly between the two so you can see the number. I love it. It's a great job. The guy's a pro. You knew exactly what to do.
What's up, Dennis? How are you, man?
You guys are the pros. I had to get the presentation going, and in order to receive this awesome gift from you guys. So thank you very much for reaching out and offering this for Woodward Sports and your Big D Energy show. Huge fan. Love your guys' work. Obviously, as you can tell, I'm a quote-unquote lion slappy based on what you're looking at. So this is great. I really appreciate it.
My question to you, Dennis, then is what are you looking forward to for Sunday, obviously going to the game and being such a diehard? Where are your Lions fandom going into week 1?
That's a great question. The biggest thing for me is because it's all so new, coaching staff, a lot of new players, management, things of that nature, is everybody buying into what Dan Campbell and the team coaching staff are selling. I need to see that they believe, because we've seen so many coaching regimes come through here, and you can tell the players didn't buy in. The last one especially with Matt Patricia. I need to see they believe in the system, what Dan's selling. He is such a real guy. He is, in all honesty, he's such an interesting, intriguing guy. I need that guy to be a good coach and succeed here, because he's going to be media gold for you guys. If he ends up being a good coach, he's going to make your job a lot easier. So biggest things I need to see the team is buying into everything.
Joique, I told you, man. Like it's just a repetitive theme. Dennis, the media, everything. People are starved for Dan Campbell to do well here.
We want him to do well, and the reason we want him to do well is because he's a likable guy. All right, and he comes in, and he also has that Michigan background. He has that Detroit mentality. He has that grit. And I remember when I went to go do the luncheon with them back in March. When I was able to meet all the coaches. I was able to have a sit down with Brad Holmes and Miss Forham, and we kind of talked about kind of the future of the Lions, and then also the path where we want to take to get there. And the word that he kept throwing out that stuck out to me was grit. And he has that grit, and the way that the players are responding back to him, that's what I'm excited to see. I want to see the players want to win, not just because they're afraid of what's going to happen to them if they don't play well, but because they want to see him successful.
Yeah,
that's what makes a successful team.
Yeah, you got a direct link to it. So Dennis, I have to ask you here, Fish and Art here in the bowl and in the production studio, they're on the 10-7 limo. You said it yourself, you're a slappy. Do you need them to stop by your house and pick you up, the 10-7 limo coming down your street, or what?
As much as I'm a slappy, I'm also a realist. I understand it's new. It's too new. The schedule's very tough. I think we have, the 8th hardest schedule in the NFL. I apologize. I want it. I want the 10-7. I can't say I believe in it, but I do want it. But I don't believe. I say 6 to 7 wins at the most, especially with Taylor Decker being hurt. I know you've talked about it. It's going to be tough. I want it more than anything, but I don't think so, no.
Dennis, you know what? It just got me thinking. You and I, we might convene and talk and see where we're going to put that dumb tattoo on Art's body. We might decide for him being stupid himself for trying to say that. But I think the biggest thing is what I love to hear, no matter if it's ex-players, media, fans, we're all on the same page. We want this guy to succeed, but we know because of the history, SOL or whatever, we got to baby step our way in. So I love everything you're saying. I think that's the way to be. I think all things can be true, hopefully, and hopefully that you not only enjoy the game, but see the things that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate it. I will enjoy the game, and thank you so much to you guys. Your great work. And Neal, just one quick thing. At the beginning of the show, you had mentioned about struggling through the workout. One little tip for you, my friend, is put the towel over the treadmill cover so you don't see the timer. It goes faster.
I like that. Yeah.
Look at that.
Gosh darn, life hack.
Look at that.
Listen to the whole show.
Life hack. Look at that. That is a life hack. I got a question for you before we have to let you go. Now, I see on your, I believe that's your right, with Barry to your right, and you have Kelvin to your left.
Yeah.
All right. And so we had a question. Who is your pick for the greatest Lion of all time?
The greatest Lion of all time?
Yeah.
He's right there on my wall, number 20, without a shadow of a doubt. I met the man. I got his signature. That jersey's autographed. I don't know if you can see it. I was second in line. I got there 3 hours early to be second in line. And if that tells you the answer to your question, Joique, that's my boy right there.
Okay.
We gotta get the Joique Bell jersey out there, man.
No, I'm not worthy to be on that wall.
We'll put you across the hall or something, Joe. We'll get you across the hall.
I'll sign a jersey and you can like lay me on the floor somewhere. Throw it in the corner.
If it's free, I'll put you on the wall.
All right, Dennis. Have a good time at the game, my friend.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right,
Get ready to be wowed.
Oh man.
So he, you know what? Even though that was a great interview, but you know what I loved about it the most? What I loved about it the most is that he crushed Art's heart. He crushed it.
A self-proclaimed slappy, too.
The best part about that, though, was Fish saying, "Get ready to be wowed."
I'm just saying, he's going to be wowed. He's front row, so he's already going to have a great view. He's going to see the kneecaps flying into Garoppolo. Then Trey Lance is going to come out because Garoppolo is going to be injured from the kneecaps. So Trey Lance is going to, they're not going to know what hit him. He's going to be going back to throw. He's going to be like, oh! That's the kneecap. It's not a linebacker because the linebacker is where Joique's sitting, so it's the kneecap. It's like a boomerang.
Yeah, good job, Fish.
Just watch Sunday.
Fish. Everybody's, if you can see the facial expression and the animation that Fish is doing, you'll be excited.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just wait till Monday morning. You come in, you're all happy and smiley after a Lions victory over the 49ers. You look for the Packers. Another win next Monday. Not another question.
Well, I'll tell you why you'll be smiley. It's because I got you right.
Yes, you
On
do.
Saturday night, it's time, D-Mac. Let's go in. Now, I'm 1-0. I don't like to brag. I'm not that kind of dude. I don't like to brag. But I hooked you up. I gave it to you last week.
What do you have?
Can I do the intro?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, Neal rules. Get you right. Late Saturday game. What do you got, Neal?
All right. Now, I made it easy on everyone when we saw what happened on Saturday night. Last week, I gave you New Mexico State plus the 31.5. Didn't even need it all 31.5. San Diego State won 28-10. New Mexico State was up 10-0 at halftime. You cruised home to a victory. Now, it was late. I think that game ended about 1:30 or so. But, the moral of the story is I got you right. This week, I'm coming back again. This time I do have a favorite for you guys, though. I got a favorite. I want you to take Oregon State minus the 11 against Hawaii. Now, this game's on 11 o'clock. This game's on at 11 o'clock. What's the Fox Sports 1. Yep. Now, it's not the CBS Sports Network special, but save your login.
They got promoted.
Yeah, save your login for CBS Sports Network. You'll need it later on in the year. But I got Oregon State minus the 11. Hawaii last week played Portland State. They were outscored 28-14 in the second half of that game. They got the win, 49-35, but we saw them get absolutely destroyed at UCLA. Their defense can't stop anybody right now. And this is an Oregon State team. And here's what I like. People say, well, Neal, Oregon State's a bad team. I like bad teams when they're in these spots where they're double-digit favorites because this is going to be a game that they win. So they'll probably cover. But you can take it to the bank. I'm going to get you right. If you struggle Saturday, if you're down some money, take all that. Put on Oregon State minus the 11. You'll be even. As I like to say, you'll be back to good.
Beavers minus 11.
There it is, folks.
Rainbow Warriors, no problem. You have me at Beavers, bro.
Yeah.
I love it. You know what? I got to throw this Fish. I'm going to give 3 picks of football every Friday, and I want you to, like we used to, keep my record. Looking at, and this is it, and usually for me, weeks 2 and weeks 3 is where I can hammer it. So week 1, I was looking at it.
You were getting the lay of the land.
I'm going to go 3 games. We're going to take the Atlanta Falcons minus 3.5 at home against Philly. We are going with the Kyle Pitts. We're doing. We think that Matt Ryan can show some offense here. They won't have problem putting points up. I like them at home minus 3.5, and I'm taking 2 road dogs. The Arizona Cardinals.
A lot of steam on them.
Into Tennessee.
A lot
plus
of steam.
3. If this is their year. Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray must show out.
It's a lot like what I talked about with Buffalo.
It is. That was the one I was going to mention where that is. And I'm looking at the opposite Darnold effect and going, yes, Mr. Zach Wilson plus 4.5 into Carolina to ruin Sam Darnold's debut. Robert Saleh, Dearborn, Go plus 4.5. So Arizona plus 3 and New York Jets plus 4.5 and Atlanta minus 3.5 for D-Max. 3 picks of the weekend.
Oh, man, deep thinking on that Jets one.
And so I have an idea for next week for Balling with Bill.
Yes.
All right. Everyone in this thread, everyone watching right now, if you guys see a play that you guys don't understand on offensive side, obviously.
I got to pick one?
Pick one. No. What we're going to do is I want to start taking in requests because I always pick a video that I kind of like. But sometimes somebody might see something that I didn't see and say, listen, I don't understand this play. Why would they run this play? Why didn't this play work? And then I'll break it down. If you can send it to our IG on Big D Energy at Woodward Sports or Woodward Sports on Instagram. All right, so take a look at it. If you like a play, let us know, and we'll be more than happy to break it down on this upcoming Thursday.
All right, well, set it in stone. Lions 49. We didn't even get a chance really to get into the whole Michigan discussion. For me, I mean, real quick, for Michigan, as it turns out, Washington losing at home to non-Division I, non-FCS teams, non-FBS teams, that kind of ruined the luster of that a lot. So I think Michigan's right back where they were with Western. You just got to win, and there's not really much you can do to impress. And
4-0 going to that game against Wisconsin,
and that's going to be the one. That's when we'll talk.
That's when we are.
Unless Schiano pops up and gets them, which Greg Schiano, man.
And then if that happens, but no, honestly, but if they go up and they win this game by the same way they won last week against Western, then that's still impressive to me.
Sure,
that's
no
still
doubt.
Impressive. It's
that's
still
cool.
impressive.
Yeah, it's cool, but Washington just wrecked it, didn't they? They absolutely wrecked it. Michigan State playing Youngstown State, they should be able to run through them. And they're setting up for their game the following week at Miami.
I heard Youngstown was not as bad as we think.
No, they're not. They're always in the mix with North Dakota State and those teams. You always see North Dakota State on TV. Mm-hmm. Youngstown's always in that mix too. So it's nice. Got a great weekend of football ahead of us. What do you got real quick, D-Mac? What you got popping?
I got to clean the garage.
Oh, what a letdown, man. Usually you got something great going on. I got to clean the garage.
I got to hit the highway right now to go to my son's game.
I'll be on TV 20 tomorrow, Detroit City FC and New Amsterdam. And then on Sunday, ESPN Plus, Oakland Women's Soccer versus Kent State. So for Joique Bell, for D-Mac, Darren, McCarty, our entire crew, my name is Neal Ruhl. Thanks again for watching Big D Energy.
Gang.
Well, see you later.